He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
Run! It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Let us get to John Lott from, from the Crime Prevention Research Center. Johnny, you're live, finally.
Yeah, no, been waiting. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. So just give us your overview here, what you think we need to do to win these midterms. What are the issues in your mind as it relates to crime, which seems to be losing the front page now?
Well, I mean, last year, crime was one of the top couple of issues in surveys asking what people thought was most important. Uh, Trump has pretty much shown how you go about reducing crime. It's not rocket science. You have to make it riskier for criminals to go and commit crime with things like higher arrest rates, higher conviction rates, longer prison sentences, and also making it so that individuals are able to go and defend themselves. That also makes it riskier for criminals to go and commit crime. That's basically what he did in DC. He put more boots on the ground when he federalized law enforcement there, essentially doubling the number of people around to go and arrest criminals. They had huge increases in arrest rates. He's had Judge Jeanine Pirro go and dramatically reduce the policies under the Biden administration. The DC's unique in terms of the U.S. attorney being responsible for prosecuting crimes by adults. During the Biden administration in 2022, the Democratic U.S. attorney there refused to prosecute 67% of arrests. He refused to prosecute 56% of arrests in 2023. Obviously, Judge Jeanine Pirro has a much more aggressive stand on that. Trump also put pressure on DC to speed up issuing concealed carry permits. It had been 6 to 8 months, sometimes even more, before they would issue somebody a permit. He's gotten that down to 2 weeks. So all those things have been important. We've seen huge drops in violent crime in DC. You had when they did the federalization, they had like an 87% drop in carjackings. Had 20 some percent drop in violent crime rates. So I mean those are important. He's been doing the same thing in Memphis, um, and moving in to Charlotte, North Carolina, to go and take illegal aliens. I mean, one of the things that's important with illegal aliens is not just deporting them, the criminals that are there, and there's a lot, and we can go through the numbers on that, but the fact that these criminals are worried about getting deported causes them not to go and commit crimes right now, because one way to stay off police radar is not to go and commit crimes. And they know if they get arrested now, there's a good chance that they'll be taken into custody by ICE and deported. And so even the ones you haven't caught yet are committing fewer crimes.
That is a great point, one that we hadn't really considered, that because of the mass deportations, that if you're an illegal, you don't want to commit a crime now, because you're immediately going to get on the radar screen, be found, arrested, rounded up, and shipped out. So therefore, you try to become a law-abiding citizen, so you stay off the radar screen. I think that's really having an impact, John. I don't think anybody's really considered that. This is the first time I've heard of that. Smart.
Well, I mean, right now we're on track for the lowest murder rate ever recorded in the United States. It's one thing that people don't appreciate is what a large percentage increase in violent crime that we had during the Biden administration. The numbers that were recently released from the Bureau of Justice Statistics showed that during the last 4 years, during the Biden administration up through 2024, we had a 59% increase in overall felonious violent crime. That's by far the largest percentage increase that we've ever seen in any 4-year period since they started collecting the data. during Trump's first term, violent crime fell. And then you had this massive increase. And it's not, in my mind, a coincidence that we had this at the same time we had this massive inflow of illegal aliens coming into the country. Um, even during the Biden administration, they released data on so-called non-detained illegal aliens. There were like 7.4 million non-detained illegal aliens. Uh, you had about almost 700,000 of those that the Biden administration identified as having criminal records in their home countries. Something like 15,000 had either been convicted or charged with murder, for example. And so that's like 9%. And the thing that you have to understand is that not only is that even even if you believe that the Biden administration properly identified all those people, and I don't, but even if you do that, that's a high percentage. And that's of those primarily who turned themselves in voluntarily at the border. The problem is the ones that you have to worry about are the ones who so-called gotaways, the ones that we saw coming across the border, but we didn't catch, and the millions more that we never even saw coming across the border because about 76% of border agents were pulled off of guarding the border and instead were just used for processing illegals. And you had about 30% of our passive monitoring equipment on the border was broken, and the Biden administration was refusing to fix it. So you had large portions of the border where we had no clue, no ability to go and monitor people coming across. So those are the people, not the ones who voluntarily turned themselves in, even though you had a high rate of crime even by those individuals, but the ones who we never caught. Uh, those are the ones that probably had much, much higher rates of committing crime. And we had many, we don't even know. We had 2 million gotaways that we saw coming across, but we didn't catch. But we have unknown millions more. Those are the ones that are probably committing crimes at high rates.
John, it's we all know what this was about. It was the most unholy alliance in national history amongst the open border Chamber of Commerce Republicans that wanted cheap labor and the Democrats that wanted cheap votes and to change the coalition of America into foreigners that had no ties here that would vote the Democrats in perpetuity. So this is really why you had this influx. This was not open borders or, the camera went out or something like this. This was planned by Obama, executed by Biden. Remember, Obama said, give me 30 million new people, I'll transform America forever. I mean, this was the goal from day one. That's why they flooded the border. And now we're trying to get them out. And you see how hard it is, right? People are upset that, somebody's got a family or whatever. Look, the bottom line is these people are here illegally and we got to get them out. And why the Democrats are fighting this so hard, every time they see somebody deported, they're losing a vote. That's why. They don't care about these people, John. They could give a rat's ass. All they care about is power, power, power. And they'll do anything to take it, seize it, and keep it. And that's why, John, we're in this mess.
Well, it's not just votes that are occurring. You also have the number of congressional seats given out to different states. Even if they don't vote, illegals, aliens are still counted for that, as well as for federal money. I mean, California probably would lose at least 5 congressional seats if illegals weren't being counted in terms of apportionment. You add in seats that would be lost in New York and Illinois, you're talking about a real shift that would be occurring there. So, plus on top of that, uh, during the 2020 redistricting and census, the census made mistakes in about 13, seats that should have gone to Republican states. Even if Republicans had picked up 10 of those seats, you can imagine how different the debate right now would be in Congress.
Yeah, well, it's a mess, and we've got to, if you look at the success here in Washington D.C., I've said this over and over. I've been here since December. The metamorphosis here is stunning. like you could never have imagined what's going on here. We went from just really, you couldn't walk down the street. 9 months later, 10 months, 11 months later, we're like Disneyland. I mean, it's safe, it's secure, it's fun, it's clean, it's vibrant, all that done by President Trump. If you do it in DC, which was absolute squalor, now we still got issues, right? We got to get rid of the rats. Rats are a problem. They're a problem, dude. We got to get rid of the rats, and we still got some pockets of crime, but we're getting there. But it's a lot better than it was. But we got to get rid of the rats. Rats are an issue. They're all over. They take over the city, man. I was walking down the street the other day in the middle of the day in the park. And there's a bunch of rats running around. When they're coming out in the day, they have no fear. They're like, pets, like squirrels, just hanging out, looking at you. Big ass rats too. All right, we got to get them out. Johnny, thank you. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
Our website is crimeresearch.org, crimeresearch.org, and they can find all the data that we've just been talking about on our website.
All right, John, thank you. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Your calls want to get back, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Stay with us.